All right, y'all. It's your boy Camel to Connect, back with another episode of the Eccentric Podcast. So for those who don't know, me and my boy Jeremy, we had a recent episode talking about our experiences abroad, and we actually decided, to turn it into a segment in terms of, us being able to talk about our experiences being Black dudes abroad in Europe. It's something new for both of us, especially managing school and everything while being out here. So this will just be kind of like a series of episodes where we, just kind of talk about different topics and stuff that we've dealt with while being abroad and everything so far. So this one today, my boy Jeremy Salley, he's gonna be on here with me. So how has it been like? We've been talking about America and everything. So with you being the only American in your program, like not even just Black American, like just American, how has it been like, being like the diplomat for the US, kind of like in terms of like, you kind of do have to be like the sole representative for America in your program and stuff. Like, you were talking about these people, like, they have these interesting views on what America is and what it isn't. So like, what have been some of the experiences that you've dealt with, like based off of that?
One of the best ones was we had a conversation. So a little bit context to it. In the UK right now, I'm not sure if you heard about when Newcastle United Premier League club was bought by Saudi Arabian Trust, right?
Oh, wow.
Which gave them money's not, they don't worry about money anymore. They just gotta get through the season, they gotta worry about money again. And so it's question that's come about where you're talking about human rights abuses allegedly by MBS, Islam, and you talk about like what it means for like the UK, like the Premier League has this thing called a fit and proper test, but it's been so across the board that there's no real definition really understood what exactly it is and how effective it is. And so that question came about. And one thing that I was very honest about, I think for me, is that as a Black American, particularly in this case, is I've dealt with police brutality. I've seen gerrymandering of our own state. There's been a lot of things on us that we've seen. So I can't sit down, and also knowing the history of what our country does abroad is work of influence of other nations. And something that's very important to me. And I said this to my British colleague, he hated to hear it, but great dude. Different ideas of thought, but different ideas of how when I was like, I don't believe the United States and the United Kingdom are who should be talking about human rights. And like those are the low things where it's like, there's certain lines you do toe with America, certain things I do believe in, certain things I don't. And the diplomatic aspect of like, well, yeah, like in America, no, that's not how that works here. And like, yeah, there's certain things that's not going to change by myself. But there's other things like, no, that's very much wrong. Like what I look in the class, my country has had influence in a positive or negative way for everyone in the class. There's no like, there's not a country that we don't have some type of relationship with in some way, shape, or form. So I can't sit down and say, hey, like America and Mongolia have nothing, I've done nothing before. That's a lie.
Yeah.
And so
we're everywhere.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we're everywhere, and for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And so with that said, you do toe that line of, well, I'm not American G.I. Joe in any circumstance. I'm proud of where I'm from, but it also says the only country I know. My family's been in the country since 1794 when they came out the slave ships. So I don't know another country. And I think that was one of the things also was very intriguing. I think for a lot of like going through the diaspora, being in Europe as well, Black folks coming from somewhere else and then coming to Europe. I can't say like I'm as American as they come, not by choice, but it is what it is. And because of that, I think that's at another level that I think a lot of my classes have never understood or thought about, is that for a lot of Black Americans, we didn't come here by choice, but we're as American as we can be. Because we don't, I'm not Senegalese, I'm not Nigerian, like two of my classmates are, right? Even though the family have roots in West Africa, I'm not. And accepting that, respecting it, and moving forward with something I think that a lot of folks would have trouble dealing with. I think it's been a contentious topic while being here, I think, too. You talk to the Black folks here, it's like, oh, where are you from? Like America. It's like, where's your family from? America. Great grandfather, America. Great America. So that's been one of the things of towing that line, particularly with the diplomacy aspect of it. And also you go through and I mean, being like speaking English is also just another part that's been very helpful. And just here in the EU across the board, where English is now just, I guess, de facto second language for a lot of folks. So being in Italy and doing so has been pretty easy, I would say, in my own experience. UK, I mean, British English. But first off, the British, they eat beans for breakfast over there. This is filthy.
Yeah, their opinion is invalid.
The most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life is beans for breakfast.
No, that's funny, bro. But no, that's definitely a very interesting, like, perspective that you bring yourself. Like because I'm in an American program right now, like in terms of this a dual program with my alma mater and stuff. I've dealt with a lot of Americans, but I can't talk about when I was in Morocco. Like, I was mentioning, talking with like professors, I mean, my teachers and stuff, like, they're asking me about America, but we even like made some friends abroad there and stuff. And it's like, it's the same thing. It's like we were literally like the first Americans that they had ever met. I was definitely probably the first Black American that they had ever met and stuff. So, kind of just being like, yeah, like, them asking me all these questions about America and, what have been my experiences and stuff. It's like, I'm gonna tell it how it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna try and sugarcoat shit like, yeah, like it's not. I mean, yeah, I mean, we're obviously probably the most powerful country in the world and stuff, but we still have our fair share of issues, bro. Like shit is not just all roses and sunshine, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of bullshit that goes on. And especially this was in Trump years and stuff too. So like, like especially the perception of America completely changed too, because it's like, with the media and stuff, like, people are like what's really going on in America, like, so it was I guess I would say it was a very curious time for the world, because it's like seeing how the states is portrayed in the media, like not even just from like culture and stuff, like actual like news and stuff, literally talking about America. People don't really know what's going on unless they actually talk to an American. So like, their perception might have typically been like, just from movies and stuff, like they're like, oh, they had there was Obama and stuff, and then you see the shift from Obama to Trump, and it's like, I guess people's like rose-colored picture of the states like came off like when Trump was in office and stuff, so it was definitely an interesting time to be abroad, because like, people just didn't really know what was going on, like, and you had to be that, like, I can't think of the word, but you just had to be that the answer for them, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like what is an American like, what is an American experience, what is a Black American experience, like how you end up in Morocco and shit, like, like it's just it was a very interesting time, and like, it was something that you don't take lightly. I mean, and even the friends I made in Morocco, like even outside of our program and stuff, I still follow them on Instagram and stuff to this day. Like, and it's especially when you're some of the first American that some of these people meet, like you may shape their entire perspective of what an American is, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's another aspect where it's like, you do want to, I was just being myself and stuff, but like, you want to leave a good impression in terms of like, like, okay, like America, our country may be shit, but it's some good people out there still, you know what I'm saying? So
like that's with like also just saying, like, I think one thing that's important is your country leaders does not necessarily represent your country, of course. Where you're talking about like, like my own opinions and views on Biden and Trump, particularly my classmates, and they're like, there's like, didn't expect that to come from. Like, no, there's certain things that like are done within the administration, isn't that like in how it affects us on day to day. Like I guess down to those little things that you see leaders across the board. Like, I think one thing that's been intriguing about living in the UK and Italy has been my view changed, particularly on Boris Johnson, particularly like seeing what it is for the day-to-day here in the UK. But it wasn't the day-to-day in the UK, and also Berlusconi. And what he did, and he was wild back in the day. He was wild, and I think right now we're seeing Italy go through an election right now for presidency. Want to keep the current president on, and you don't know until you're in the realm where it's like, oh, this is the reality I live with every day.
Yeah.
So that's something that's like, for a lot of folks, they can't fathom.